Hey everybody. Welcome to my channel. That's what the kids say. Um Today I y'all have now listened to me talk for 5 or 6 videos. I don't know if I'm going to release this one before the one I just recorded or after. So you have either heard just me for 5 or 6 videos, but today I have my friend Niki here. She lives here in Arizona. I told y'all we came for my sister's birthday. And so she came to visit me, and while she was here I said, "Hey, we should just I needed to record one more video anyway before we left, so we should just talk and record." And she was reluctant, but then I just told everybody that she was gonna do it. I said, "Guys, Nikki's here. She's gonna record with me." They were like, "Oh, that's great. Yes, you should do it."
Peer
So,
pressure, peer pressure.
so peer pressure won today, and I'm trying to make sure because she's my first guest. I'm like, am I recording everywhere? Is the video recording? Is my audio recording?
Is my audio
Is
recording?
her audio recording? It looks like it could be.
We'll
So
find out.
I'm gonna check the camera one more time.
Okay.
I'm getting fancy, guys. It's getting fancy over here. So disclaimer, because I told y'all, what did I tell y'all? I'm not buying anything until this is making some money. So because we're on a trip, a group trip, I'm with some people who actually are content creators for real. My little sister Taylor has these microphones. Here's one of them. She has two. She was like, "You should wear it too." I said, "Nope." I told the people I was not buying gear. She said they cost her $4 on the TikTok shop. Y'all see this? So Nikki's wearing one of them. We're going to have a fireside chat with no fire. There's a fire pit outside, so close to fireside chat, and talk about producer stuff, Jesus stuff. It's who knows? Just stick with us. Go on the journey.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's introduce. So Nikki and I don't have years and dates. So if you do, great, throw them in there. But we met working.
2011.
We started the same year because that was my first year.
Yep.
So that's where we met. She was she was a real producer when we met.
I don't know what that means.
I had no clue what I was doing. I'm just trying to establish that you were my senior.
I'm still your senior.
You're still my senior, but
I'm still your senior. However, yes, I had been in the business for a minute. I had been in the business for at least 10 years or so. Well, a little bit more than that. And then, we met at the company and started off, and you seemed like you were fine. You were moving around, and
I'm just social.
you're very social. I am not.
That's all it was. I'm great at making friends.
Yes, and so she was doing all these different projects, and I was just in my little world. And there came a promotion for you,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked here and there. I think we hung out a little bit just because of the group setting, but never like anything beyond that.
Yeah, all
And
the producers were like
in a
all
pod,
together.
yeah,
Our offices were all together, even if we produced different things. So Nikki was promotions,
yes,
which was like we can't call them ads. I don't know,
no,
promotional stuff.
it's it's just
This show comes on this day.
yeah. Promotions is basically just letting folks
Promotions.
know what stories or different topics that are coming out, and it's a highlight.
Yeah. So yeah, she was in promotions. I was a production assistant and audience coordinator when we first started.
Oh
You didn't know that?
no,
Yeah, they basically were like, "We want to hire you, but you don't have any experience, so we're gonna start you off as audience coordinator and production assistant."
okay, because when I when I got there, you were already an associate producer.
Then I became assistant. I never
Oh,
was an associate. I
okay, you were an
skipped
assistant.
associate. I went from PA audience coordinator to assistant to lead.
Right. And then what was that? That was like
That was in a span of
in
3 years.
3 years. And then one day I get called into the office, and they were like, "So we're gonna need you to help Candace produce."
Because here's what happened on the backstory that when they told me we want you to move into the lead producer role, I was like, I think I told them no at first. I want to say I said no. I didn't want it at first. I felt like I was too new. I still didn't know what I was doing. And I think I said no. And then they came back a second time and I was like, okay. And then they said, you need to build your team. And I said, well, can I hire? They said, no, you have to pick from inside. And I'm thinking there's nobody available inside because everybody's assigned already. Like everybody's got a team. So she's already on the promotions team, has a whole different supervisor, whole different producer team. So I didn't think anybody was available. I'm like, who?
I didn't even know none of this is going on. In my own
Yeah,
world,
she's just doing her job.
doing my job,
Promotions
and I get called in,
producer.
and I was like, "What are you? What is
Yeah,
going
because
on?"
they made me pick. They said, pick somebody that's already here. And I said, well, the only person I can think of is Nikki. That's all I want. Like, she was the only one that I, no disrespect to anybody else.
I was like, but here's the thing: there were other producers because there was like at least four other producers that you could. No, there was five other producers that you could have went to,
Mm-hmm.
and out of all the other five, she came to me,
I
and I
knew.
wasn't even in that producer
She wasn't in
realm.
that realm. Yeah, because all the rest of the producers were already working on shows. So they were already in the routine of actually producing shows.
And I was like, what? And again, we didn't talk about this, and
Mm-mm.
I was totally blindsided by
Yeah, I
that
said
one.
nothing to her.
Nothing. She was like, oh, a little heads up, like, hey, I'm thinking about having you on my team. Nothing. I I got called in from my supervisor um, that I was working under, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna be splitting you. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I don't get a pay raise? Hold on, hold on, hold
That wasn't
on.
on me now. I can't control the money.
Yeah,
Couldn't control the money
but yeah, so and I started working on this live show with
with
Candace,
me.
and it was.
Chaotic.
But here's the thing: I learned Candace very well that I could, and I've always tried to do this when I work for people, is trying to figure out what do they need and try to meet that need before they need it, if that makes any
This
sense.
is why I picked her, guys. I knew I had a lot of deficiencies.
So yes, I would. I learned how Candace was, and because Candace, she's very hands on. I know that you didn't know how to ask for help, and so I had to step in and do it for you in order for you to realize, oh, I can let go of stuff because you didn't know like the whole
Mm-hmm.
delegation, which
Yeah.
is hard for anybody. Like
Yeah.
that's no like shade to you. It's just one of those things where it's like I don't know what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, I do.
Yeah.
So let me
And
step
you had
in.
been a producer before. So you on all different levels.
Right.
I hadn't. So I'm like, I didn't understand what it meant to work completely as a team. Now, I had been an assistant producer, but I only got to be an assistant producer for a year before becoming a lead producer.
Right.
So I didn't have clarity about how to utilize the team outside of the context of that 1 year. So
So I just stepped in and I just started doing stuff. And at first she was like, I don't I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
And then after I think about after like 6 months, she started to realize like I'm just gonna I'm going to just do stuff. I don't need you to micromanage me. I don't need you to tell me. I know what needs to be done, and
Which, let's
so
be
I
clear,
do
I
it.
was never a micromanager. If anything, I wasn't managing enough.
I don't talk about that. Anyway,
I was like, are you working on something? Great. It probably was nothing
most of
I
the
could.
time I would be like, "Hey, this is what I'm working on. This is done," and she was like, "Oh." And then after a while, it just became a rhythm.
We figured it out. And it's like she owned parts that I didn't have to worry about.
Right.
And then yeah, we
She
figured it out.
could worry about more of the logistics and being able, not being in the weeds, but being able to really overlook the entire show and figure it out. And I could be in the weeds and do what needs to be done.
Yeah. It worked out great. And I just knew, so I knew my deficiencies. I knew I was a high level vision person, but not very detailed, which is why I thought Niki would be great. So she was more detailed. She was more timely. Let's be real. Time and me are, we're elusive. We're
You
an
know,
elusive duo.
you know,
Sometimes we find each other, sometimes we don't.
we don't. You know, she'd get there sometimes 10 minutes before,
A show.
and sometimes if she got there a half hour, oh,
We're
we were
great.
golden. The 10 minutes, yeah, I pretty much knew how that
I'd
was
be
gonna go.
calling ahead. Hey, I'm on. I'm gonna be there to prep them, but can you get the cards and meet? Like, I need you to meet me at the door. Anyway,
Yes,
yeah,
there were many days like that.
don't matter. The shows got done.
Yes,
Okay,
and they were great.
great.
That's all that matters.
But that's why I picked Niki, because I knew she was more timely than me. Like, she was already at her desk every time I got to work, and
I think
I said,
everybody was at their
I
desk.
said, I need somebody like her. She is always there. I just need somebody that's gonna be there, because I don't know when I would get there. I would have dreams about missing the show.
Oh my god.
It was like a recurring nightmare. Like,
There was a couple times I had to call and I was like, "Are you on your way? Are you sure
mm-hmm,
you're on your way? Because
mm-hmm,
I don't know about this prepping,
yeah,
but we made it work."
yeah. So held me down. Okay, held me down. So after that, Niki left first. Did you move here straight from there?
No, I moved to Chicago.
Oh yeah. Chicago. We
Yeah.
came to see you at Chicago.
Yep.
Then she went to Chicago and you worked in news.
Yep. I went back to news. And then after 3 years, I then moved down here because I got a job.
Yeah. So then she came to Arizona, and she's still a producer.
Still producing.
She's got a cool job. I want to talk about your project since we're here. Let's talk about the project you won an Emmy for, because that was really cool. And this is going to come out. It's Black History Month.
Well, it's been out.
No, I'm saying what we're recording right now is going to come out during Black History Month. So I can link it in the description, right?
Yes.
It's available for public viewing.
Yes.
Tell us, it was a series on Black people.
Yes.
What was it called?
It's called Black in Arizona.
Black in Arizona.
And so it's a
That's us right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording an episode of Black in Arizona. This is Emmy-nominated show that we are recording, Black in Arizona. Hi.
So I did a 6-part docuseries on the African American experience here in Arizona, dealing with politics, dealing with generational wealth, dealing with health disparities, as well as talking about education, talking about community and culture, and then what does it really mean to be Black in Arizona. And so 4 out of the 6 got nominated. One of them won. And then I had won another Emmy for another project I did for Black History that was talking about just the experience of being Black. And so we did of more of a poetry. We took a poetry approach to that one. So that one I was really proud of.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to that one.
All right. All the links are going to be in this description. That is so cool. I remember, like, so you had to find all of the people to interview. Like, what was your job with the... So we'll start with the first one.
So here, I'll give you the backstory. So originally it was linked to an art project. That project fell through, but my boss was still like, well, we still got to hurry up and do this. Now, mind you, I'm still fresh. I'm still like learning my way around. And so like it became, we started with having someone that was like a consultant. And so she led me to one place, and then it just started trickling to talking to like several different people. And I interviewed over 20 people to be able just to talk about the different experiences. And I learned so much. At that
point, was this still supposed to be art focused, or did it evolve?
It evolved.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to go with like this art exhibit, but that exhibit, it didn't come to fruition. So we still needed to put this docuseries together. And so I was able to have a little bit more time, not much, but
Mm-hmm.
a little bit breathing room to figure this out. But it was really cool because um, m- myself, along with my student workers, we discovered so much stuff. Like, for instance, we discovered a community called Okemah, which was it was a all black neighborhood, and they were self sufficient, and it was a very thriving community. But as a lot of black communities, as we know, they ended up being torn down because they ran a highway through it.
Oh,
And so it doesn't exist anymore. Like the airport and the highway take up where Okemah was.
what?
Yes. So it's like it's gone. Yeah. Yeah. That face.
They couldn't even get. This is okay. So I don't know a whole lot about Arizona, but I do know there's a lot of indigenous people here.
There are, let me make sure I get this right. If I'm not mistaken, there are 21 registered indigenous tribes in the state of Arizona.
I feel a way. I feel a way because especially it's just so much. It's the
Mm-hmm.
erasing
Yep.
to not even say, okay, yes, we might need to put a highway through here, but can we move you all? Let's give you this land instead where we won't disrupt your flow. Because they probably would have said, yes, we'll cultivate that. That's fine. We can move, or maybe, I don't know.
But that's
Or,
happened all across this country.
exactly.
Our neighborhoods that were thriving, I mean, in the Okemah, they talk about how they had their own beauty shops, they had their own grocery stores, they had, their own um, police. Everything was right there, and everybody was thriving and was making it, and they had their own homes. And it was taken away, bought out, or eminent domain, however, and it doesn't exist anymore. And it's just, if it wasn't for the Okemah Community Society, we wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
And I had to tell that story.
And at this point, they're just preserving the history of what was.
Pretty much.
They're not reestablishing. They're not, we've relocated.
They did relocate, but they
They had to
got
get dispersed.
dispersed. And that's not just in the black community, that's in the Hispanic community, that's in the indigenous community. And so, unfortunately, like you said, it's erasing history, it's erasing communities, it's erasing family ties, it's trying to erase us. And to be honest, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing these stories because we work too hard and we bring too much value to society to be erased. But that's just my 2 cents.
That's real. No, I think it's. I am not a historian or a researcher, which I should be as a producer.
I think we kind of are. Like
It's
when we
like
get
to a
into a
degree.
project, yeah. When
Yeah,
we
like
get into a project,
we go in on that
yeah,
thing.
you start to you can go down a rabbit hole real quick. It's
Yeah.
not hard, and it's just like you get all this information, and you want to like just throw it out there, but you have to be methodical with it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes nowadays there's so many different ways that you can do it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna put this piece here, but then on social media I'm gonna put this over here
Mm-hmm.
because this doesn't need to be on the cutting floor.
Right.
Like I need all of this to be out there, and I'm gonna figure out how to tell
How?
it.
Yeah. Yeah. What I what I was gonna say, basically the importance of that type of work, the importance of um story and telling, because even if okay, maybe that group never gets back together, but for somebody it might be that's possible. It sparks something like, oh, that's something that could be done. we could create our own community. Okay, how much land I need to buy? You know, like it changes the way we think, the way we operate as a community. It's like we actually do have the ability to be self sustaining. We don't have to rely on government if we come together as a community, you know. And I think that's where we're starting to see, especially now with like DEI being removed and Target changing their policies. Like it's becoming a thing where we're going to have to support ourselves.
Well, that's why you get a lot of people now that are looking into buying land because farming is coming back. And there's a young woman that I follow. I think her name is Nia Brown Matthews, and she farms. And she did a message real quick, and she was saying since she moved out of the city and they started, farming and eating vegetables from the land,
Disease going down.
they're
Yeah.
off their medications.
Yeah.
No more high cholesterol, high blood pressure,
Yeah.
diabetes, all these different things gone.
Mm.
It's it 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 made me think about, yeah, I want to do. I need some land.
Mm-hmm.
I need some chickens, and I'm serious. Like I want to do like a small farm. We're gonna start doing with the hydroponics. Get a couple of chickens and let it grow from there. Because
But you in Arizona, cause where? All I see is dirt and rocks and desert. Where y'all gonna be?
there's some land.
Oh.
There's some.
Where y'all grow? Where are
You
they
don't.
growing things?
Well, the hydroponics, you don't need grass.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
they're it's basically a water filtration
Okay.
that you do, and it's on towers.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so,
I've seen it. I've seen like the lettuce tower people can put in their
mm-hmm,
house, and it's you don't
yep,
have to be in dirt and outside.
no,
Okay,
yes,
hydroponics.
yes,
And
yes,
okay, and
mm-hmm,
because I'm like where, um, I want to garden, and there's this lady who's about to start teaching me. This older black lady back home. So I'm very excited. She has a class this month in February. I'm
you
not telling everybody where it is because it's gonna be at her house and there's not enough room.
no, but you at least got to tape a show with her.
Oh, she would be a time. She
That's
would be a time.
that's some good stuff
That's
right there.
she. I'll, t- I'll, I will talk to her. I'm sure she'll say yes with that. Ooh, that's gonna be an episode. I'm not even gonna have nothing to say. I'm just gonna sit and listen.
That's sitting at the feet of wisdom.
That's it.
Listen,
That's a
I'll
good
sit there all
idea.
day.
It's a good idea. All
Mm-hmm.
right, I'm gonna talk to her.
Cause she got wisdom beyond them vegetables.
Mhm. Mhm. She does. She offered to cook us possum.
Oh,
I'm like, how do you catch a possum? I don't. I got so many questions. Anyway, no. So I think that's phenomenal. The telling of the story, but then also see how it's impacting you. Because had you not learned all that, would you even have the desire to have your own land and have your own? You know, like I don't know. Learning the stories of other people impacts how we live and move.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think just because I am a news junkie, even when I'm like, no, I don't want to do news, like I still want to like gather all this news because I always want to feel like I'm learning something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just the way that, when I go into the grocery store and how expensive stuff is and you're organic, and I'm like, why is it more expensive for me to eat healthy
Yeah.
than to eat junk?
Or what I'm trying to understand is why is there a shortage of eggs, but we have chicken everywhere? Why is chicken so available, but eggs are not? Just yeah, little things, little things.
Yeah.
Let's get your chickens. That's great.
So yeah, I definitely, I just want to do, definitely want to do the farming. I want to do that. Now, does it make me nervous? Absolutely, because I've killed plenty of plants. But
yeah, I think
it's
it's one
trial
of
and
the things
error.
you get better at it, like as you do it. So
Yeah.
once you get into it, that'll be cool. I'll let y'all know how I do on my little journey. I'm not ready for chickens or nothing. I'm not trying to get there yet, but I'm just, a couple vegetables, maybe some fruit. Start small.
There you go.
That's my goal. So, okay, another thing we could talk about. We shared a little bit. We don't have to go into the detail of the nitty gritty of our stories, but we were talking over a random meal we just ate. we
It was
just
very
we
random.
just pieced random things together. So while we were eating our random meal just now,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about, I guess the big theme would be trauma.
Yes.
The big theme would be trauma.
And it's trauma from, and let's put this in perspective. We both had health issues um, that came out of nowhere. Um, I know you went for a test and you were like, wait, what? And I went in because I thought I was having a heart attack and had something completely different. And just dealing with um, that from a healing standpoint on the backside, yeah, it's traumatic
Mm-hmm.
because um, I don't know about for you, but for me, I almost did die. And so it's one of those where it's like trying to mentally rationalize all that and like, okay, God, so why am I still here?
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense
Mm-hmm.
because this isn't what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like how life should be afterwards. Like after you go through something, you don't expect to just continue to get knocked down.
Yeah.
And when you get that knockdown, you're like, hey, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
did you forget about me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know me?
Yep.
I'm not trying to be centered, focused. However, um, I need a break
Mm-hmm.
because it's too much.
Too much. I ain't
It,
asked for all this.
I ain't asked for all this.
It's a lot of action.
It's a whole lot of action, and when I I always I love the saints. I do. When they always like to tell you, He's not gonna put more on you than you can bear.
I ain't found that in scripture.
To this day,
I ain't seen it.
I'm you know,
Quite
go-
sure it's not in there.
listen, Google. I got you on Google, and I promise you can Google scriptures. I Google scriptures because I like to see,
Where?
when people are
Yeah.
saying these things, and I'm like, not a near
Somebody
translation.
lied.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kirk, we love you. That song ain't true.
No,
It
he.
hurts.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, Lord, um, I tap out. I'm good.
Done.
Just wanted you to know. And it's interesting though because I have seen him when we ask for help because as black women, that's not our first
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our first thing to do.
Right.
It's like help. No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just like, for instance, we'll go back to when we were working together, and I know it was very. I'll never forget. It was we had the we had the international show, Israel,
Okay. I'm like,
and
we did a lot in Israel. I
I
don't
know,
remember which.
but this was it was kind of a last minute trip, and you were supposed to go but didn't, but you had to prepare like all the tapes,
Mm.
and it was late, and I was about to go home, and you looked so stressed out, like to the verge. The Candace doesn't cry.
I don't cry. Yeah, I just told them this on an episode.
She
I was
doesn't
like,
cry.
I don't cry.
She does not cry. But Candace had. She looked like them old pound puppies. Remember the pound puppies and they look real sad? That was her. And I knew something was wrong. And so I was like, what's going on? And she was real reluctant and like, she's like, no, I got it. I got it. I was like, yeah, no, you don't. So what do you need help with? And it took a lot for her. I mean, a lot. and I'm not trying to minimize it, but it took a lot for her to ask for help. And so I was not going to be like, oh, girl, you got it. No, I was like, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
And so we sat there and we divvied up and we stayed until 3 o'clock in the morning.
There, listen. There are so many. I can't even remember this memory, but I'm like, I'm sure that I absolutely know she ain't lying because there were so many times where you get there thinking you're gonna get off at 5, and something comes up, and because you're a lead, you got to stay till it's figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of those times where it's like, I can't leave till this is figured out. Like, I can't.
And we stayed until 3.
So had you not stayed with me, I don't know if I would have finished.
No, no, because there was a lot. There was a lot to do. And we had to make sure that the editor got in so that he could finish.
Yeah, because we had night editors and day editors, so there was editing happening 24/7.
Trying to get this project done.
Yeah.
And so
Well, we got Sundays off. Editors didn't work on Saturday and Sunday.
only if it was a
Emergency
specific
situation
yeah.
or specific situation. Yeah.
Typically, yeah, we had the weekends, but during the week, it could be sketchy.
Mm.
But it took a lot for you to ask for that help. And so that is not in our nature because it's always like, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at a point where I'm like, you can take this cake and burn it.
I just told her she needs to read Dr. Sarita Lyon's book, Church Girl. One of the chapter we just finished is called I Am Not Your Superwoman. It's literally about that. We take on so much as Black women, and we feel like we have to save the day and fix everything and get it all together and be everybody's savior. And it's like, nah, we're killing ourselves. This is why we die before everybody else. It's like, nope, we got to start saying no. We got to start repositioning ourselves as humans like everybody else instead of the superhuman that can get it all done.
Yeah, because it's too much, trying to, and I think part of that is people pleasing,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to be accepted. And now I think it's funny because a lot of people, when I'm at work, I just have this. It's not so much I don't care. I'm just not about to. I know my value.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't need to please you or anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I know I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm
going
gonna
to figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it out.
You ain't going to know that I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm gonna fake it till I make it. And it's gonna be real low key. Because when I started working on that show, I was like, I've done shows, but it's different. And so you don't know, like, okay, should I do this? Do I do that? Well,
you got thrown in because I at least had been an assistant producer and I had been on the floor and all that before being the lead.
Right. And the only time I think I was helping was to run teleprompter. And I was like, okay, that's cute. But I wasn't really paying attention to like the show. I was just making sure, when they needed to read, okay, good.
And that was from the control room. Right?
No.
You were on the floor?
I was on the floor.
Oh, okay.
But half the time I wasn't paying attention. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was just trying to do what I needed to do and then get back to my other job.
Yeah.
But my thing is, at this point, I don't want that cape.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I want to be able to have balance in my life.
Yeah.
And this stress foolishness, y'all can keep that.
Y'all can have it.
Because
don't need it.
I'm over it.
For the burns.
I think that revelation really hit for me, when I had my health scare.
Mm-hmm.
and it's changed my perspective even more. Where I'm like, yeah, we're not doing all this.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I didn't learn to ask for help until, well, one, you kind of taught me there. But when I really got proactive about asking for help was when I was pregnant. Because I couldn't function. I was throwing up every day. I had to go to the hospital both pregnancies. So it was like, especially the second pregnancy, when I had a 1 year old and could not function, I was like, oh, I have to ask for help.
Yeah, because I started working for her even after that.
Yeah, she started working with me when I started my own company,
And you were
and
pregnant, and you would be sick, and I'd get this
could not
random
get stuff
text.
done.
You're like, I need you to finish this. And I was like, oh, she's not doing well. And so,
Yeah, it's like you got to. So by the time my diagnosis came around, the breast cancer stuff, I had learned from pregnancy to ask for help. So when that happened, I had a whole game. I had a game plan. I was like, all right, we put people in a group chat. We're gonna have a team meeting. Like, here's what's going on. I'm gonna need y'all to step up. Like, I had learned the necessity of working as a team and
mm-hmm.
asking for help and being honest about capacity and not trying to carry the weight of everything. And I think now I have just enjoyed the benefits of the weight being lifted. So now I think it's slowly becoming my default. The only time I have a hard time letting go is when I have a very specific vision. And I'm like, no, no, that's not it. Like, nah, I can see it. Like, I'll just do it. I got it. So I'm still dealing with that because I be having very specific visions sometimes and very specific ideas of like, oh, it should sound like this or it should feel like
Mm-hmm.
this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to communicate that and somebody else interpret it the way that you're feeling it and seeing it, because really art production, it can be subjective,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not necessarily wrong, but it
But
may
I've
not
learned how
be
you
what the
think.
person wants. Yeah.
I've learned how you think. So most
Yeah.
of the time, I can usually get it,
Mm-hmm.
or at least come close. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we're so close.
We're
And I'm
so
like,
close.
and then we started breaking stuff down. And I'm like, okay, and we'll piece
Yeah.
this here and we'll put this there. And
Yeah.
then it comes out.
Yeah. We get it there. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's really the part where I'm still struggling. Like, but I feel it. I don't know how to tell you what I feel, but I feel it. Okay, never mind. I got it. So anyway, that's the part I'm working on. But
You're doing better. You're doing a
I
whole lot
really,
better.
yeah, and I feel a lot less stressed, and I feel like I can sleep, and I feel like I don't have to do everything, and I'm actually now when I take on a project, I'm already breaking down what can I give away
Mm-hmm.
for a couple reasons. One is I don't want to have to do it all. Two, I love paying people, and I'm recording a video. I don't know if I've recorded it yet. By the time this comes out, I don't know the order. I'm just making content. So I don't know the order. But there's a video about one of my favorite things about working for myself. And that is one of my favorite things.
Is paying people
Paying people. I get so much joy.
out of employing people.
I don't want to call it employing, just like extra provision. Like, I know how helpful it is
Yeah. Yeah.
and how necessary it is. And one of our team people told me at one point, like, he could have lost his house if we weren't working together.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, just how, and I know for us, like, it has allowed our family to be able to do a lot,
Mm-hmm.
just so I'm like, I just love that it's not just a benefit for me. I'm not trying to become this multi-million-dollar company for my family to be a multi-million-dollar family. Like, it's like, no, that means I'm generating jobs for more people or extra income for people, and people can get out of debt and people can buy houses. You can buy land. Because, I mean, let's be real. Like, I don't know. For some reason, it's like the money you get freelance can stretch a little further because it's not taxed the same, and it's not,
Yep. It
like,
makes a
you
difference.
get more control of that money.
You've gotten me out of a couple
So
binds
it's
doing
just,
some jobs. I'm like,
yeah.
yes. What do you need? What do you need to
Anything
buy?
that you got, yeah. So I mean, they'll come find me. Do you have any work? And I'm like, I'm trying. Like, so that really is what motivates me to try to keep work going. Because there have been days where I'm like, I don't have to do this no more. Like, this is a lot. Not knowing what's next is a lot. But I don't know. So now when a new project comes in, especially when they're bigger, I'm already thinking like, okay, how can I break this down? Who can take a piece? Who can do this? Who can do that? Like just going ahead and like thinking of it that way. And I don't know, I just love it. I think it's great. I don't know. I'm grateful. So that's a big motivator for me for continuing this work as a business owner.
So back to the trauma.
Trauma
Um,
for your
what
mama.
I don't even want her to have it. What was your biggest lesson about healing
Mm.
after? I'm not talking about you physically healing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about you mentally and spiritually healing. What was your what was that moment? Or are you still in that moment?
Mm-hmm. It's not finished. I actually think I'm just starting. Um, because after there's so much. One day y'all might get the full. I don't know when to even tell the whole story, but coming out of okay, first of all, breast cancer treatments are so long.
Mm.
Specifically with my type and the stage I was in, I had to go through everything. So there was chemo, surgery, radiation, more chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like over a year. It was almost 2 years of treatments. I think
Right.
I hit like 18 months or something like that when I
Right.
count the months.
Yeah, because you did a whole countdown, and yeah, we had a whole schedule
It
and
was a
all this.
lot.
Yeah.
So think of 18 months of just not knowing what's next or how your body's responding or how am I going to be okay, and then the side effects intensifying because the first one you're like, okay, well, my first one was not good. We won't go into the details. Anyway, you go through 18 months of treatments and trauma and just feeling your worst, and then you slowly have to start healing. The healing process is so slow.
Physically.
Physically, mentally, you still don't even know what happened to you because
Mm-hmm.
you're just in like, I'm just trying to live. Am I gonna live? Like, I just want this to work. Is it working?
And keep in mind, you still got two little ones.
Yeah, and I'm still taking my kids to school and getting them dressed and making
Husband,
sure my husband is good because he never had to stop working. Like, he never stopped working.
and you
We
still
set it up in a way where he didn't have to miss work unless he wanted or unless I asked him to come with me to a treatment or to an appointment. All my other appointments were, we just got a whole bunch of friends. We called on the village. Like, can you take me to this appointment? We literally made a schedule of people. So, yeah.
and you were still working.
Yes. Still working.
So
Never
like
stopped working.
you're doing all of this,
Mm-hmm.
going through hair loss, weight loss, dizziness,
Heart palpitation
palpitations. There
stuff.
were times we would just have to stop and just pray and be like, Lord, I need her to just get some sleep.
Yeah.
Because there were times you couldn't sleep because
Mm-hmm.
you'd be in pain.
Yeah.
And so after all of that, then life starts lifing again
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't stop.
Didn't stop. Yeah.
What is that process, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah. Yes, definitely still in it. Um One thing, and this is a practical tactical situation. One thing I did, I journaled consistently. Like whenever I felt overwhelmed by emotion or couldn't quite understand what was happening in my mind, I would just journal, word vomit, whatever thoughts, any fears, anything that I was wondering. Another season happened right after my treatments. Well, shortly after my treatments, we went through another thing as a family. And during that season, I felt like I was losing a lot. And so I journaled whenever I missed something because of our circumstances. I just would write it down. It didn't make it where it was like, oh, well, I feel better now because I wrote it down. It still hurt because I missed it. But writing it was a way of acknowledging it.
Mm.
So
You
it's
still gave life to it.
yes. So it's like I honored it in a way. I wanted to be at this thing. I wanted to do this thing. I wanted to experience this thing and I didn't. And just writing it in a way honored it, even though I wasn't able to do it. So I think that was a way of kind of, I don't know, it released the weight of it a little bit because it's like, okay, at least I know I wanted to be there, and somewhere it is written that I wanted to be there, even though I didn't make it. I feel sad about it. So that was one thing, just figuring out a way to process. Another thing was community. So leaning into my people. I did not walk by myself on purpose. So I didn't try to like thug it out. Nah, I'll figure it out. But like finding a couple people that I could just be honest with at any time. Here's what's happening. Here's how I'm feeling. Um, that was really helpful. I have to be real and say I did not pray as much as people probably think I would pray in a situation like that. I felt like I didn't have it. Like I don't even know what to pray. All my prayers just sounded like please heal me. It just sounded like begging. So I'm like I don't even know what. So I would just let other people pray for me, or just people would send me scriptures or prayers or whatever, and I'm like that was what I would pray, is whatever they would send me, because mine had no depth, because I was just trying to live. Just trying to
You feel
survive.
like you're in the ocean and you're just trying to stay afloat
Yeah.
until like the lifeboat gets to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah.
I'm
treading. I can't.
This is all I got for you,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wasn't in my word. I wasn't like the things that people would think. Like, did you get closer to God? In a way, but not the way you would think. I trust Him in a different way than I did before, but it wasn't because.
And I had to rely on the word that I already
that
had
I
in
knew.
me.
Yes. I didn't have room to.
I don't have any. I don't have the capacity to take anything else right now.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm in this abyss, and I just need to see a glimmer, just
Yeah.
of light. That's it.
Yeah.
And if I can see that,
Yep.
then I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yep.
That's all I got for you.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Because it's so dark. It's so dark, and there's so many questions, and there's so much you just don't know. And you just like, I don't have it. And you're exhausted. You're too tired.
Because you go from one thing to the other, and you're just like, okay, Jesus. Because we were talking about this before, and I was like, so I'm here. You kept me alive. You saved me from death. And now I got to deal with this foolishness?
It didn't get better. I thought we were going up.
No, we just kept going down.
The descent is not finished.
No, this isn't.
Yeah. No,
this is not what I envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
Yeah. I think a lot of people deal with that, and we don't always talk about it. We think we're the only ones.
Not always. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
They always. I love the saints, and I say this all the time. I do. But I think we need to be real along with the word, but let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
Life sucks at times.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other words that I would like to use,
mm-hmm.
but I can't. But it's.
But you can. I mean, we are grown. But yeah, no.
You know, I'm going to keep it.
We don't know. I'm still figuring. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You know, as the young people says, life be lifing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes life be lifing, and I'm like, you can go and kick rocks for all
life. Life.
You can just.
Anybody ask for all this?
All this, because I'm like, Lord, you could have took me if this is the foolishness. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, this sucks, but you're still God. And you have me here for a reason. I don't know what that reason is right now, because it's completely
can't make sense of the mess.
I don't know if I'm east, west, north, south. I don't know.
Yeah.
However, you did say in your word that you order my steps. So I'm going to need you to order these steps, and I'm going to need you to.
That's in the Bible.
Yes. I'm going to need you to give me some rest and some peace, and give me some wisdom, and just give me a hug. Because right now, I need a hug.
That was actually a recent prayer of mine. I prayed, now that I'm able to pray and read my Bible again. I'm praying and read my Bible again, having a grand time. We're having a good time, me and the Lord. But one of the things I prayed was like, I'm your child. I need to feel like it.
Oh, what did he say?
I ain't got an answer yet, but I'll report back. But I was just like, I can't say I haven't gotten an answer yet. I think he is showing me in ways that I would not have preferred, but showing me in ways like, I've got your back. I'm not about to leave you out. You're gonna be covered. You're gonna have what you need when you need it. You may not have it ahead of time like you like to have, but I'm gonna show up and you're gonna be provided for. And I'm gonna see your needs and meet them, and I'm going to open doors that you weren't expecting and things like that. Like, so there's a new wave of provision and opportunity happening,
Mm-hmm.
um, but not in the ways that I expected and not in areas that I would have pursued. So he's basically flexing.
Which is funny because you sent me a sweatshirt of your production company, and I didn't pay attention. I just threw it on, and I took it off. And I was like, "There's writing on it," and it says, "Live with open hands." And I was like, because I was watching Tim Ross and Dr. Anita Phillips,
Mm.
and he said that,
Mm.
and I was like, and that was part of like my um, I don't know if it's mantra or it's just what I wanted to live starting now.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, okay, because I'm always like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, Lord, you don't be coming through
Mm-hmm.
the way I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? I need to stop
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't create me,
Mm-mm.
and
Or nothing. I mean, let's be real.
that part,
Whatever we're making is from something that was already made, you know.
that part. Hmm. So I need to stop acting like I'm on the throne and like I bore that cross,
Mm-hmm.
and I just need to live like this.
Yep.
And even that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, okay,
Yep.
uh, uh, and anytime we're like this, it's like, no.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what happens when you open your hands? Every time you exhaled, which is a position and a posture of relaxation. It's a position of the position of surrender yields peace. It's releasing tension. It's releasing angst. It's releasing anxiety. It's releasing striving. It's like it creates a restful position. Your body literally exhaled every time you opened your hands. You did it. Every time you opened your hands, you exhaled. We're breathing. It's life-giving.
And that's how we need to be across the board.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's not just this way, it's this way as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
Stop trying to control. I can't control your situation. Now, if I can help you, great.
Mhm.
But I'm not God.
Yeah.
And unless He.
Who are you fighting? I keep forgetting. Oh, it's okay.
um, it's one of those where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to try to solve your problem.
Mhm.
But if God utilizes me to help, great.
Yeah.
If He doesn't, and all I'm here to do is to listen,
Mhm.
that's fine too.
Yeah. Yep.
Because again, I burned that cape. I was like, no, we can't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can't just fold it up and put it in a drawer now.
Mm-mm.
Don't fold the cape.
It's not going to the dry cleaners.
Burn
It's mm-mm.
burn it, put it in the trash. Just yeah.
The box. I'm not trying to be in a box either. The box, burn all
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
Just burn.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
That's it.
That's all. And even with, the trauma, it is something that you work through because you can't ignore it. A lot of times we like to do that too. We like to
Mhm.
ignore stuff like,
Mhm.
oh well, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll suppress it.
Mm-hmm.
And all you're doing is building up more sickness in your body later.
Mm-hmm.
This is all I got for you.
Yep. Yeah.
And while I'm going to therapy, while I got to get back to journaling, I've been really, really lax on that.
Yeah.
But journaling and therapy and community,
Mm-hmm.
that's something I've had to learn. Oh, yeah. I need to find that community and not be ashamed
mm-hmm.
to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I shouldn't have to ask for help.
Mm.
Like, why should I? Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But like you said, it happens to everybody.
Everybody at one point, at some point, everybody gonna need somebody. So, and I say this too in conclusion, because I gotta get dressed. We're supposed to go to birthday dinner soon.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah,
but
you ain't getting me in trouble with Destiny. No ma'am.
The hardest time to build community is when you're going through something.
Say it for the people in the back.
The hardest time to build community is when you're going through something. And because we don't know when we're going to go through, building community should be an ongoing priority. And when you're building community, it's not just, I want people to be there for me, but you also are to be there for others. So in that community building, that's the whole point. The name Open Hands, O Productions, the company, the term, whatever, the whole name has three-part meaning. Surrender is one, which is what we're talking about, but another one is service. Service is also demonstrated by Open Hands. And so when you are building community with the mindset of service, it's not what's in it for me, it's how can I help you? And I think all of those things, both are critical for building community. Is like, I have to be a person that is thinking about the needs of others, willing to give whatever I can, whether it's time, resources, money, or whatever, presence. Build that community when things are great. That is the easiest time to build community. Come over, let's kick it. That's the whole point of this trip. We're celebrating life. We're celebrating my sister's birthday. We're having a good time. Things are good. We are building community. We're building bonds. Niki came over to just kick it. I mean, we're doing this. This became a thing. But even this was like, let's just connect. Let's just hang. We're not on our deathbeds today.
Isha.
Praise the Lord. Okay. Praise the Lord. But this is what community building looks like. And this is the time you want to do it. When things are good.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's a good time. Get out the house. Call a friend. Have a phone conversation. Don't wait till you're down and out and then you don't have nobody to call and you're like, nobody's showing up. Yeah, because they haven't been there in the good either. So I think that's great. I thank you for bringing that up.
But you got to tell the third part of
Oh.
You can't just finish the two.
She's producing me. You see what's happening.
You didn't mention sacrifice.
Generosity.
Oh, generosity.
No, it's not sacrifice. It's surrender, service, generosity.
Gotcha.
Okay, there we go. I was like,
SSG.
Yeah, I thought it was another S.
Oh, okay.
I need alliteration to remember. Surrender, sacrifice. I mean, not sacrifice. Service. Surrender. Maybe generosity could be switched to sacrifice. No, it's different words. Surrender, service, and generosity. So the generosity is giving. I think I mentioned service, serving others. Surrender, just giving it up. It ain't yours. You're just a steward, not an owner. Surrender, service, generosity.
There you go.
Yeah, I need to make it 3 S's. I might change that last one. Generosity might be getting renamed. I got to figure something out. Anybody got any ideas for some S's I can put in there? Anywho, yeah, that's the whole point of O Productions. That's the whole point of openness, is just to create a space where all of those things can happen, where we can build community, where we can give, where we can share our knowledge, and build community. That's really it. And we did it today. You did it. Was it hard?
Yes. I heard the tremble sometimes in my voice. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is
You
horrible.
didn't know. It's fine. You did great. You did great. I mean, and
I didn't
obviously
cry though.
you
That's
didn't. And we had so many more topics we could have done. But
yes.
I'm gonna wrap this up because this is a great.
I have a feeling she's gonna call me back.
I don't know. This is a great good start. I mean, there's so much we didn't talk about, but this was really good. And I gotta get dressed.
Yes, you do. And I gotta go and get my dog. So
Oh, where's your dog?
well, he's at home, but I
Oh,
gotta
he's gotta pee and stuff.
all that fun
Dog's
stuff.
gotta be let out
Mm-hmm.
after so long, and you've
Mm-hmm.
been gone
For a minute.
a
So
long time. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Nikki, for being my first guest on Open This.
you're welcome.
Yay!
I love you.
I love you. I'm so like for real. She was. I know she loved me because she did this. she she the type don't ever have to be seen. She's no, I'm good. So anyway, where can people find you? Are you on Instagram or Facebook?
I am, but there's not
or
much that you gonna
she
see on
don't
there.
do much. She really,
I post here and there. I am gonna get better. I'm starting up my production company, so when I get some more stuff, I'll let you know.
okay. I'll come back and add it to the description.
Okay.
So at some point when things are ready, I'm just gonna keep updating this description because people will watch this. You know, it's just gonna be up there. So
So yeah.
if she has something,
Well, you can at least link them to the documentary. So I'll
yeah,
send
I'm
you the
gonna link them
links.
to the documentary and they're watching football.
And the spoken word.
The documentary and the spoken word. What else did I mention? I would link. I'll put Dr. Sarita's book in there.
Yes, definitely need to.
I think that's all the links for now. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. I hope this was encouraging. Hit up Nikki if you need anything. I don't know what contact info I'll have for her, when it'll be there, but if you need to find her, find me. My email is in my about section, and y'all have got my IG, my all of that. Anyway, thank y'all for watching, and until the next one, bye bye.